When I was a little kid, I was such a smiley, radiant, vibrant, energetic, sweet, articulate, outspoken little brat. I grew up in an upper middle class family, attended one of the best private schools in New England, always had support from my family to follow my dreams, and generally lived a pretty swell life. I was also a child actor. When Mom picked me up from school for auditions, I'd get really excited to hang out with her. In fact, ever since I could remember, I always loved spending time with Mom. I followed her everywhere. I idolized her. At one point, my sister Mo really detested me because whenever she would try to change the station to 97.1 hip hop and R&B, I would change it back to Mom's 101.9 smooth jazz. But the deeper the bond with my mom got, the more the void in my heart grew. I always felt I was missing something. My dad. Now, this isn't a story about a little black girl's absent dad. No, I had a father. He was married to my mom, and the whole time, and they're still together. We lived in the same house, yet I never felt like I knew him. He was a businessman who left early in the morning and came home late, only to ask for dinner and retire into the bedroom for the rest of the night. I, somewhere along the road, started telling myself that my dad didn't want or care to spend time with me. When it was Dad's weekend to take my sister and me out, he would put us in the car and zip over to the comic book or gaming store. My sister, an athletic ace, sports enthusiast, and gamer, would light up. I, on the other hand, would roll my eyes and wish I could click my heels 3 times to disappear to dance or art class. Even when Dad did reach out, I rejected him. I mouthed off and said hurtful things. I even remember Mom venting her frustrations to me one day, to which I responded, "Well, why don't you just divorce him?" Such a little brat. In the summer of 2005, my mom, dad, my sister, and I were traveling from Vegas, my mom's hometown, to Los Angeles to see my dad's family, a routine drive we had made several times before. My sister was not pleased, and I was unfazed by the whole thing because Dad's side of the family never really made time for us. I started to wonder if Dad had drunk the same Kool-Aid. We stopped in this shitty, middle-of-nowhere town that resembled a scene out of a gritty indie movie, and somehow managed to find a Starbucks. It was perfect. It was the perfect time to pollute our bodies with just enough caffeine and sugar to get us to LA. We shuffled back to the car to get back on the road, and my sister relentlessly refused to put her seatbelt on, for no good reason. My father stopped short upon my mother's request, and they had an unprecedented stare down. If you've ever seen a black mother give the stare and pierce through your soul without saying a word, you know what I'm talking about. Mom, gritting her teeth and squinting, "You better put your damn seat on. If I have to tell you one more time, I'm gonna come back there and slap the shit out of you. You know I will. Don't make me. Don't make me." Mo stops moving and takes off her headphones slowly. "Don't make me." Before Mom can get to her, Mo buckles up. She sucks her teeth and rolls her eyes to the back of her head. Then she puts her headphones back on, all while returning her evil glare. Dad has permission to keep driving now. Shortly into the second leg of the ride, my mom took on a concerned look. That look that every woman displays when she intuitively senses that something is wrong. After a calm yet unsettling back and forth between the two, Dad assured Mom that he was just fine and that we would be in LA in boom, crash, pow. Mom was right. Why is Mom always right? We were gliding through the air. I felt like I was in the Matrix, but this shit was real. Boom, crash, pow. Mom and Mo were screaming their lungs out like their lives were about to end, which was perfectly understandable. Boom, crash, pow. I kind of thought it was the end too. Dad and I, on the other hand, were calm, silent, very eerily poised, almost ready. Then something strange happened. We locked eyes in the rear-view mirror. That was one of the first times I genuinely connected with my dad on a deeper level. It took a car crash. A fucking car crash. We landed upside down in a ditch, and the cars driving around us stopped and ran to us. When they saw that we barely had bruises, they told us, "It's a miracle you're alive." My dad had lost control of his limbs. I found out for the first time that my dad had a disease called multiple sclerosis. Since I was 3 years old, I was devastated. I felt like the most horrible person. I seemed to mature overnight, and the purpose of life, relationships, and my family as I knew it had changed before my eyes. For the first time, I wanted to be close to my dad, to spend time with him, to listen to him, understand and accept him as he was. And in the years since then, I've learned so much. I've learned that my dad is a quiet, gentle bear who speaks with purpose and passion, only when necessary. That he always was an introvert because he loved his books and was a severe stutterer growing up. He wasn't necessarily quiet around me because he didn't want to speak to me. I learned that judgment pushes the people who love you the most away. That he was hardened by the Vietnam War and experienced PTSD. That multiple sclerosis is a debilitating disease with no cure. And the years I spent judging my dad and being mean-hearted are years I'll never get back. I learned that Dad and I have more in common than I thought, and that if I want to have a good, honest, intelligent conversation with a history buff, I should go to him first. I learned that all those years I complained about Dad's job in the city not allowing him to spend time with me, I had no idea the significance of that job at all. He had worked his way from a boy in the hood to a senior management position at an international company, with his training in the Army and only 1.5 years of a formal college education. He was working to support his family, to support my dreams, and he loved what he did. I learned that when his MS causes his speech to slur, I am the only one who can understand what he's saying. And I could go on because I never stopped learning from my dad. But today, we are close. We are so close. And the thought of him brings tears to my eyes. He's so special. And that car crash was quite possibly the best wake-up call of my life. Thank you.